Utah Business is pleased to present the 2024 Most Influential Women Awards, celebrating the women who have made a remarkable impact in industries including government, education, healthcare, nonprofits, and technology. Today's event is sponsored by Minky Couture, Digital Bytes, Web, City Creek Center, David Eccles School of Business Executive Education Women in Leadership Program at the University of Utah, and the Grand America Hotel. And now, please welcome the Editor-in-Chief of Utah Business, Melanie Jones.
Good morning. We'll give everybody just a second to find their seats. My name is Melanie Jones. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Utah Business, and I'd like to welcome you to the Utah Business Most Influential Women Awards. I would venture to say that there is not a more powerful room in Utah right now than this one right here. Thank you all for being here, to the honorees for the work you do, and for those who are here to support them. Today, we honor women who have made an impact beyond the walls of their own companies, influencing entire communities or industries statewide. We would like to thank our premier sponsors for today's event, Digital Bytes Production and Design and Minky Couture. A special thank you to Minky for providing a gift for each of our honorees today. You'll get those when you come on stage. Yeah, and it's not a blanket this time. It's something new. We would also like to thank our primary sponsors, as well as the David Eccles School of Business Executive Education, for hosting the beautiful VIP reception last week. Wasn't that awesome? Thank you also to City Creek Center for hosting the photo and video shoots at their location. By the way, did you know that City Creek is run by a woman? Linda Wardell, one of last year's honorees, joins us today to support and lift up this year's cohort of incredible Utah women. Thank you, Linda, for your sisterhood. I'd also like to thank Lynette, Hannah, and Hayden, who have thought of every detail to make today's event beautiful. At Utah Business, we are committed to fostering connection, insight, and recognition for Utah's thriving professional community. We use our platform to highlight Utah's business leaders and success stories. We're all in on Utah, and we can't wait to tell your stories this morning. We hope that by hosting this event, the next generation of women watching will be inspired to take a seat at the table. For women, anything is possible. We can make an impact on this world no matter the industry. Sometimes we just need to see it in action to ignite our own fire. Now, Utah has a reputation for being the worst state for women. It has almost become trendy for outside researchers to disparage us. Do we have room to improve? Of course. Utah businesses and political entities are banding together to make change for our girls and women through initiatives like Gathering for Impact, the Rosie Project, Tech Moms, Women Tech Council, and She Tech. Speaking of which, Kristen Andrus, Anissa Brown, Trina Limper, and Sydney Tetro are all here today. There truly are incredible women living and working in Utah, but we may not always realize just how many of them there are. One thing I've noticed in my time at Utah Business is that women sometimes decline awards, saying they don't do this for the spotlight, or maybe they don't feel deserving, or maybe they prefer to be a behind-the-scenes person. There are women in this room today who said things like that to me. And I get it, because it can be hard to step forward. But I'll tell all of you what I told them as I badgered them into accepting this recognition. First of all, Since I have joined Utah Business, we have never once had a man reject an award. There's a lesson there. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there's some sort of lesson there. Second of all, it's important to celebrate you because you deserve it, and because there are women and girls in Utah who don't know the heights that they can reach. They might believe the bad press about Utah. They might suddenly find hope and motivation by reading your stories. Stories about people like Catherine Rainey Norman, chair of the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee for the Games. And hey, Catherine, thanks for your part in bringing the Olympics back home. Like Shauna Graves Robertson, the first and only Black woman ever appointed or elected to serve as a judge in Utah. Women like Lisa Eccles, who, along with her philanthropic work, is quietly influencing important issues in our state to maintain its vibrancy and taste. Like Amy Reese Anderson and Rochelle Rutherford, whose stories are so compelling you could fill a book with them. Quite literally, they have brought a copy for each of you. And there are so many more who you'll learn about today. I'm excited for you to meet them. Outsiders can say what they will about Utah, but it's important that we tell our own stories. It's important in terms of bringing talent and investment to Utah. It's important in terms of showing the next generation what is possible for women in Utah. And it's important to show appreciation to these incredible women who give their best to Utah every day. At Utah Business, we are proud to find and tell these stories. We're now pleased to move on to the recognition part of today's program. We truly cannot wait for you to hear about all of these amazing women. Honorees were selected by a panel of previous award winners, some of whom are here this morning. So, judges, if you're here, please stand. Evelyn Cisneros-Legate from Ballet West Academy. Joelle Hatch Jensen of Eastern Utah Community Credit Union. Pat Jones from Women's Leadership Institute. Donna McBean of Neighborhood Connection. I know she's here. Liz Owens from YWCA. Ruth Todd of Bonneville International. And Linda Wardell of City Creek Center. Now let's begin with our first award recipient, Madeline Atkins. Please turn your attention to the video screens.
I decided when I was about 15 that my goal was to become a concertmaster. And one of the things I love most about the job is the variety of activities that I get to participate in. Of course, the great orchestral music, getting to perform concertos with the orchestra, the solos, but also the opportunities to play chamber music, to teach, to help educate the next generation, to travel. So it's really a multifaceted career full of variety. That's what I most appreciate about it. Utah Symphony Utah Opera does so much work in the community for education. We play all around the state. We perform for tens of thousands of young people throughout Utah every year. And I also, in addition, get to work individually with a lot of students, young students, maybe in middle and high school, as well as college students, really trying to model an example of giving your all, being a strong, positive leader, really helping these young musicians get excited about what they're doing on their instruments.
Please welcome to the stage musician director on the board of Grand Teton Music Festival, advisory board member for the Baltimore Chamber Orchestra, and concert master for Utah Symphony Utah Opera, Madeline Atkins.
So I became an entrepreneur at the age of 23 when I started my first company. I started the company to feed my kids. I had 2 little kids and needed to support my family. So I started a company in healthcare technology and ended up having a real knack for that and grew and sold a couple of companies, and my last one was sold in 2012. And since then I've been doing angel investing and a lot of charity and philanthropy and serving on boards. I really look at entrepreneurship as a pathway to self-reliance. It helped me as a single mom be able to support my kids, and I just feel like there's so much that can be done by teaching people to use their skills and their talents and abilities to accomplish great things. And it's not about the title they have or the money they make. It's about how they did the journey. You know, did they keep their integrity and their values along the way? Did they help others along the way? Because I feel like any success we do have is for the purpose of turning around and helping other people to also accomplish things in their life. That's what I look forward to spending my time on, and being able to focus on helping the community and just using the talents that I've been able to discover in myself and grow and use those to pay it forward. That's the most important work I think that we do.
Please give a warm welcome to entrepreneur, angel investor, philanthropist, author, and public speaker, Amy Reese Anderson, founder and principal of Reese Capital.
So I was at a McDonald's with my daughter, and as some of us do, I turned behind me and thought, I think that family might need a meal. So we bought their Big Mac and their Coke, but what made all the difference is that I asked them to sit down and eat with us. And so I got to know this mother and I got to know her son, and I realized that philanthropy and giving back is really personal. I was sitting at lunch with a group of women who run nonprofits, and we call our group Do Good Therapy, because when you're doing good, you often need therapy because it's not always easy. And I was telling them that I felt inspired to bring nonprofits together more often, that we were working in silos, we weren't working together and understanding what was actually going on in our community. But it felt like I had too much going on. It wasn't something I could take on right now. And they told me, Kristen, you have to do this. So years later, once a quarter, we get together, building bridges, nonprofits, over 200 nonprofits that come together and learn and grow and develop. And what I love about it is there's no strings attached. We have donors who come and teach them and talk to them. And the miracles and the magic that has happened of getting nonprofits together in a room and working together has been absolutely incredible.
A round of applause for mentor, service addict, and master fundraiser, Kristen Andrus, community champion and philanthropist with Gathering for Impact.
Growing up, my parents instilled the importance of volunteerism and advocacy, and that's why I'm where I'm at now. And this work is very important to me. I feel like it's important to elevate the message that there is a need for more Native American foster homes and kinship homes. I feel like if people are aware of it, that they may step forward and consider becoming a foster parent or a kinship home. I want our kids to remain in the Native American community. Cultural connection is more than just reading a book or taking them to an event. It's about everyday conversations around the table. It's about teachings that are taught from other members of the same Native community. And I see that through my children. Some advice that I would give to others and what I've given to my daughters is to be true to themselves, to make sure that they're healthy spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And do not give up. Even though that you face barriers, you may have people be negative, do not give up. You have that passion, you have that drive. We can all make a difference.
Please give a warm welcome to citizen of the Dene or Navajo Nation, Stephanie L. Benali, Native American Specialist with Utah Foster Care.
So from when I was a little girl, I saw life as stories. Life is a series of stories. People are their stories. And so, of course, that became what I pursued as my career. And I worked at the Deseret News, and I actually worked at Utah Business a little bit early in my career, and then started a publishing company. In 2000, we started Utah Valley Magazine and then Business Q. And I had this beautiful long chapter, but I did start to feel that other chapters were coming. This is the opportunity that I've been looking for to grow, to use my skills as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, someone who loves numbers, who loves dashboards, also loves this state, loves people, loves the entrepreneurs who are building this state. And I saw this seat as the executive managing director / president and CEO, as Lou Kramer retires in November, as this opportunity to sit in a different seat and do all the same things that I am passionate about. But I also feel and hope that like my positivity, that my view on the world, that my feeling of abundance, that my feeling of celebration, that my feeling of what gets acknowledged gets repeated. I hope that's my greatest impact of just showing that we can all link arms and we can be awesome. We can be ourselves, but we can really help each other and grow together. And abundantly, we can create this Utah that's beyond anything we could imagine.
Please give a warm welcome to founder and editor of Bennett Communications, Chief Visionary Officer at Thanksgiving Point, chronic board member, and now the Executive Managing Director and President for Colliers, Utah, Jeanette Bennett.
So we enable military spouses to go get IT certifications. We provide daycare, laptops, remove as many barriers of entry as possible, and then help them get jobs in the aerospace and defense industry. When you go to apply for the Rosie Project, it says there's no need to know technology at all. Just come, be a part of the cohort, and we'll teach you everything you need to know. It's so humbling to see how appreciative they are of the opportunity to be able to study without having to worry about their kids running around or having to worry about not having a hands-on understanding of how to do things. When you think of military spouses, they are the backbone of our Department of Defense. They're the ones who support our military members who are deploying, who are PCSing, yet they're completely underserved. So as we started here at Hill Air Force Base, now we're growing to other locations, other bases. We're looking at going overseas, and it's been just so exciting to see the need that's there, but the military spouses coming together to say, we want this program here. Please help us get to a point where we can move and not have to start over again.
Congratulations to electrical engineer, software developer, and champion for military spouses, Anissa M. Brown, Chief Executive Officer for the Rosie Project. A quick announcement before we move on. You may have noticed a QR code on your tables. For timely updates about upcoming Utah business events as well as local business news, please subscribe to our free daily email newsletter by scanning that QR code. Additionally, as an attendee at today's brunch, we want to give you a complimentary one-year subscription to Utah Business Magazine. Oh, I'm so glad that you're glad. Subscription registration is also included on that same QR code on your table. Now, please just turn your attention to the video screen to learn more about our next honoree.
I've always been really passionate about public policy and social impact. That's really been my whole career since I went to Brigham Young University many years ago. I got really interested in this idea of how do you actually really help people? How do you make people's lives better? And there's lots of different levers that you can do that through. And I've been able to work in a lot of these different places: local government, federal government, nonprofits, for-profits, lots of different levers. But what I believe about public policy is that it is the biggest lever of all, because there's just so many ways to impact people for good or for ill. That's what we fight about in our politics, right? Is how things might impact people for good or for ill. I have 5 kids, and I spent a long time away from full-time paid work because that's really important impact too, that we can have on individuals' lives. I'm still a mother, and I still have 5 kids, obviously, and they're a little bit older now, but I believe that work is incredibly important to also affecting people's lives for good.
Please give a warm welcome to professional licensing reformer, AI regulation expert, and consumer education champion, Margaret Woolley-Bussey, Executive Director of the Utah Department of Commerce.
I'm not an immigrant, but I have the soul of an immigrant. And my grandfather was an immigrant to this country from Mexico. My mother was an immigrant from England. And I understand what the American dream is. And in Utah and other states in the United States, there's blended families. There's people that are US citizens living with people that have DACA and undocumented people. So my goal is always to try and keep the family together. The difference I'm making is that I am helping one person at a time and one family at a time. If I can keep a mom and a dad and their children together in the United States, I feel like that is well worth all the effort that it takes to be successful. I would like everyone to remember what our country was founded on, and that is anyone from any background can come to the United States and have the American dream. That's what my mother had when she came from England after the war. That's what my grandfather had when he left Mexico for a better life here and for work and opportunity. I hope everyone remembers that we are a land of immigrants and that we should support their pathways to citizenship.
Please welcome to the stage immigration attorney and proud Latina business owner, Gloria Cardenas, founder and chief executive officer of Familia America.
very valuable scar tissue that I honor and I treasure, and I work through a lot of really hard things. I've learned everything from every company I've ever worked at, I've ever invested in, I've ever bought. I think my most defining moment, which is not really part of my career, is when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I talk about it a lot because if I don't, it has a grip on my heart that I just can't take. But I learned so many things about myself and about other people, that people are good, that no doesn't really mean no, that it can mean not yet, and that everyone has really hard things, but when you have something really hard and you face it head on with guts and grit and tenacity, that it doesn't define you, but that it refines you. I really look for ways to mentor as many people, young men, young women, as I can. I have this population of young people who come to me later and say, you not only opened a door for me, you helped me visit my future, you shoved me through a door, and I found a confidence that was always mine, but you believed in me before anyone else did, and that's really, really meaningful to me.
Please give a warm welcome to board member, four-time CEO and cancer survivor, Chief Executive Officer of First Colony Mortgage, Corrine S. Clark.
I do think that my previous experience as a lawmaker helps me be better in this role. I understand where the legislature is coming from, and I understand when you're elected, you are elected to be the voice of a certain geographic region. They are there to do the very best job they can for their constituents, and they take it very seriously. I know I did when I was a lawmaker. But I've been able to bring that lens into this role, and through collaboration and through those relationships, we're able to make a lot of great things happen, and we're able to come to consensus on a lot of issues where it would be difficult had I not had that experience. So I do think that helps. And I also think we have strong processes in place where we have a process designed to come to consensus with the legislative branch and the executive branch. For example, we budget to the same number. We both come to consensus on our revenue estimates so that we're building a budget off the same number. And that's something that's unique to Utah, and it helps remove the politics from a lot of these hard decisions that we all end up having to make.
Congratulations and welcome to the person who manages all of Utah's money, Senior Advisor and Executive Director for the Utah Governor's Office of Planning and Budget, Sophia DeCaro.
I lost my sister almost 14 years ago to a drug overdose. She was a mom of 8, and oftentimes we talk about mental health and substance use, and there's such stigma that people wait too long before they can get the help that they need. I watched my parents build the Huntsman Cancer Institute, and for 30 years they've been putting resources and their passion behind cancer. And when my dad passed away, he told our generation, find the cancer of your generation. And that's when we decided to get behind mental health. Mental health is behind every door in America. And at one time in our life, every one of us are going to be affected with mental health or substance use. We will either be the caretaker picking somebody up off the ground, or we ourselves will be being picked up off the ground. So it's all across our country, basically all across our world. It's the #1 disability in the world, but we aren't talking about it. We are happy to be disruptors and upend the system and make sure that insurance covers people that are in need and that people aren't afraid to talk about the pain that they're dealing with.
Please give a warm welcome to board member, philanthropist, and mental health advocate, Christina Huntsman Durham, the Vice President of the Huntsman Family Foundation. Isn't this an incredible group of women so far? Let's catch our breath for a moment for a quick announcement. Utah Business is currently accepting registrations for the Best Companies to Work For awards through September 30th. To qualify for this award, we survey your employees and stack you up against the state's top employers. Are you one of Utah's best? You can find the link to register on our website. Please, once again, turn your attention to the video screens to learn more about our next honoree.
The future of the foundation is pretty exciting. We are now, as a family, looking to bring along the next generation of leaders. We are just stewards and entrusted with this responsibility, but we're excited about the next generation and helping them along so that they can serve in our place. But we're looking at the foundation 10 years, 25, 50 years out, and the impact that we plan to make. The great thing about foundations is we gift every year, year after year, and it's in perpetuity. And I like to say we aren't going anywhere. Utah is our home. This is where we're going to stay. We're going to support this state and the people as the state grows and the population grows. Our objective is to do what the founders wanted us to do. My dad and I talk about it often, and we hope they're smiling down on us and saying, well done.
Welcome to the stage, arts enthusiast and member of the University of Utah's Board of Trustees, President and COO of the George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation, Lisa Eccles.
I am a native of Utah, and as many will be aware, the African American population in the state of Utah is not the largest. In fact, we've been less than 1% for quite a while, and I think we've jumped up now to a little less than 2%. However, what that meant was that it was important that one find their place. Even after all of these years, I'm still the only African American female that's ever sat on the bench in the state of Utah at any level. And so it is truly my goal to replace myself. We have started a new group and it is the Utah Black Lawyers Association. And through this association, it is my goal to make sure that we mentor and coach and that we have individuals that are ready to step up on the bench at all levels. Also, with my work in the National Bar Association, we have a specific department that deals just with appointments to the bench, be they local, be they federal. And so succession planning is very important. I don't want to leave this position and there is not someone else that replaces me.
Please welcome 46-year-long member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, chairwoman of the Utah Supreme Court Community Relations Committee, and the 49th chairman of the National Bar Association Judicial Council, judge for the Salt Lake County Justice Court, Shauna Graves Robertson.
The work of addressing poverty amongst Utah children and Utah families in general really is not just about how much income a family has, especially when you're looking at intergenerational poverty. There's a lot of different challenges that emerge that results in a child living in poverty. And those issues that I worked on at Voices for Utah Children in early childhood development are so critical to ensuring that children get a healthy start, that they get the support and the resources and the opportunities that they need as young children to put them on a pathway to success and hopefully end that pathway into poverty. I'm very fortunate that the work that I get to do and that I've done throughout my career really aligns with that value and belief that everyone should have opportunities to live out their hopes and dreams. And the department serves Utahns across their lifespan, from prenatal all the way to death, and brings in resources at the community level. So when you bring in that value of opportunity, also with those resources, you have this incredible department that really can influence our goal and our mission that all Utahns are healthy and safe.
Everyone, please give a warm welcome to the Executive Director at the newly combined Utah Department of Health and Human Services, the state's largest agency in terms of staff and budget, Tracy S. Gruber.
Years ago, I decided to study film while at BYU with my husband, Jared, and we started writing little short films. And the first little short film was called Peluca, which then turned into a 90-minute film called Napoleon Dynamite. So this year, I had the amazing opportunity of going to the Oscars with a short animated film. I made this film during COVID with the Salt Lake Film Society, and they had a new little program called MAST, which the purpose was to combine up-and-coming filmmakers with established filmmakers and kind of, foster those relationships. And Jared and I met with many animators, and we picked 6 of them, and we created this masterpiece of a short film called 95 Senses. We love it so much. There is a real need for females in this position as filmmakers. And so having mentees is a very important part of our life, and we usually have 4 to 5 at a time that we're fostering and helping through writing processes or pumping them up to call a manager or writing emails for them. It's just anything we can do to give someone a leg up, because we were given a leg up as well.
Congratulations, and please welcome the filmmaker who brought you both Napoleon Dynamite and Austenland, writer and director Jerusha Hess.
Tech Moms is assisting women to be able to transition their careers into technology. And the core purpose of that is really providing opportunities that a lot of women don't realize are available to them. And so really demystifying the tech industry, helping create awareness of all of the opportunities that are there that are just not being taken advantage of. We're not just solving for building this amazing tech workforce, we're solving so many other societal issues that are occurring. You know, from domestic violence to just finding independence and finding fulfillment in my life, and all of these things that come through being able to be skilled and being able to contribute. And you start to see them paying it forward in so many different ways. I wrote my thesis paper in college 25 years ago when I did my computer science degree on why women should go into computer science. And so this has been a lifelong thing. This isn't just the last few years that I've been doing this work. I've known for many decades that this needs to happen. And so just seeing the momentum and the individuals pulling together and supporting each other and finding these pathways has been just so fulfilling on so many levels.
Congratulations, and please welcome the CEO of Rise Next Corp and co-founder of Tech Moms, Trina Celeste Limpert.
Every day is an adventure. Every day, I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm willing to ask questions. I'm willing to try. I'm present. I show up, and I make lots of mistakes. But those mistakes are learning lessons, and then I just move forward. I think the most gratifying thing that I get to do is I feel like I'm making a difference. I'm making a difference to my community, for my family. My family all still lives in the area. My ancestors were original settlers of that land. So it's important to me to protect the community, to protect what we have. And so I think that's what's satisfying, is seeing things come into place that are helping not only our locals, but also visitors. I'm excited to see my grandchildren, especially I have 4 brand new granddaughters. I'm excited to see what the future holds for them and to see the things that I'm developing and the efforts I am making make a difference in their lives.
A big round of applause and congratulations to Shanna Mehmet, Juab County's Tourism Director.
was a time when we lived in an area of unincorporated Salt Lake County and we wanted to become a city. And so I was in my early 20s and got involved in that effort, in the incorporation effort for the city of Taylorsville. There's something about being part of something so important as birthing a city that makes you really feel engaged and want to see that city succeed. I just felt this ownership, if you will, of providing service for my community. If I look at all of the issues that I've been involved in, from intergenerational poverty to mental health, I gotta say the mental health piece has been something I'm very passionate about. And a lot of that is because I've had my own experiences with myself as well as my family members who have struggled with mental health at some point in their life. I've been a champion on the county council getting funding for things like a mental health receiving center and our mobile crisis outreach teams and so many things that have been vital in our community. And we're just seeing more and more concern there. It's been one of those issues that I am very, very passionate about, and I am thrilled that I've been able to make a difference in that space.
We are happy to celebrate the Senior Advisor to the Governor for the State of Utah and Salt Lake County Council Member, Amy Winder-Newton.
I've been so fortunate to have the career and opportunities that I've had, and to spend the majority of my life on ice pursuing my passion and pursuing my dream in Olympic speed skating. And then when I started to make the transition into a professional career, kind of off the field of play a little bit, I knew that I wanted to stay involved in sport. Serving as the chair of the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee for the Games has been really a very multifaceted role. I primarily, was put into this position to help have the athlete voice front and center in all of our decision making, but also serving in this role, I've had the opportunity to engage with our communities, to engage with our political leadership, our community champions. That's been part of the joy of being a part of this effort and helping to lead that effort, is bringing that blend of sport and community and how they can both work together and catalyze one another. And so it's been a long journey. I've been a part of this process since the very beginning in 2011 when Governor Herbert brought a few key stakeholders together. And then, the last several years helping to really take a forefront leadership role in this process with our successful award that we just had a few weeks ago.
Congratulations to Catherine Rainey Norman, the chair of the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee for the Games.
I've actually worked in many different industries, from commercial real estate to telecommunications to education, as well as genealogy. And what led me to Kids on the Move, which is an organization that works with children with disabilities and delays, is that I was actually asked to serve on the board of directors for Kids on the Move. I asked myself, I don't even have children with special needs, I don't know anything about this, but what I did know is that Kids on the Move was making a tremendous impact as far as serving children with disabilities and delays and helping their families. As a child, I was actually abused and abandoned by my parents and left homeless at the age of 16. And after attempting to take my own life, I made the decision that that circumstance was not going to define who I was as a person. And part of the legacy that I plan to leave is that I'm raising $150 million to build a state-of-the-art facility here in Utah to support children with disabilities and delays. And it's going to be a first of its kind. It's going to be a lighthouse in the nation of how we support families, how we love and care for children with special needs and help them grow to their fullest potential.
Congratulations and welcome to the stage the CEO of Kids on the Move and Forbes author, Rochelle Rutherford.
Agriculture means a lot to me. Agriculture is food production. And because we haven't found a way for people to live without food sustaining us, it plays an important role in everybody's life. Food production in the United States is accomplished today by less than 2% of the population. So we have a pretty big mantle to carry. And it's always been important to me, not only that my own farm should succeed, but also the many farmers that I rub shoulders with throughout the state, across the nation. I want them to be successful as well. So I want the public in general to feel comfortable with their food supply. And so I would love, take a tour, take an opportunity to go to a farm. I'd like people to really know the truth. And I'd like them to see it for their own eyes and hear it from a real dairyman. This is how much I care about my cows. This is how I take care of them. You can have a strong measure of comfort in knowing that the milk that you're purchasing and drinking for bringing home for your family is safe and healthy.
Congratulations and welcome to the stage, leader at the Dairy Farmers of America, the Utah Dairy Commission, and the National Dairy Board, partner and manager for Cedar Ridge Farms, a 1,000 cow dairy in Nephi, Sheila Sherwood.
How did I do this? I'll just say it that way. How did I do this? I know that my husband had a part in it, but I worked very hard to be a good mother. And I look at them and I'm in amazement that I created these children, that I was a mother without siblings, without examples. So I did the best I could in hopes that they would learn from me. And it wasn't easy, I'll be honest with you. There was some, I had some disadvantages growing up. I worked very hard to overcome those disadvantages and to be a good mother. I hope I succeeded. I think I did. I'm pretty crazy about them, and I know they're pretty crazy about me. Raising children doesn't stop when they get married or they go off to school or they leave your home. Teaching and raising children continues until you're my age. And I still, to this day, smack their arm and tell them to get their arm off the table when they put it on, when they're eating dinner. So it's always a learning process and a teaching process.
Please join me in a round of applause for this next honoree, the woman who raised Willie Starks, owner of Moonstruck Catering and Fry Me to the Moon, Steve Starks, CEO of the Larry H. Miller Company, Ryan Starks, Executive Director of the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, Aaron Starks, CEO and President of 47G, and Matthew Starks, Landscape Architect. They're all here with us today. Welcome to the stage, Debbie L. Starks.
One of the things that's been a priority for me in building my career is also my ability to give back in community and to find the intersections of those. And I've really been blessed with this unique opportunity to build a career and gain a perspective and then develop community-driven programs that have made a difference. Over 15 years ago, we created the Women Tech Council, and that program has had this unique opportunity.
Experiencing connections is involved.
Of people to make a difference in the lives of individuals. We've helped more than 40,000 high school students pathway into STEM careers and have exposure into those. We've created award platforms that have accelerated careers and changed complete pathways and opportunities for individuals. We've created networks of thousands of people that would never have existed. And what I know is it translates into individual change and impact for a person at a very personal level. And I think that's what's most powerful when you decide to give back. For me, then this has led into opportunities to create influence in every place from the Board of Higher Education, all of the way into things like participating in the investment committee on the Utah Innovation Fund. For me, the opportunity to give back is really anchored in, do you make a difference at an individual level? I don't care that they necessarily lift me. I care that if I spend time, other people's lives are made better, because if we change lives today, it changes generations tomorrow.
Congratulations to the founder of Women Tech Council, co-founder of SheTech, and CIO of Swire Coca-Cola, Sydney Tetro.
We love everything construction. And the last couple recent years, we also started really making sure we were involved within the community. So a lot of my time is not only spent helping lead and grow our business and being a part of not only that buyer experience, but then also making sure we're doing our part by giving back to our community. A lot of what I do with my experience and connections is involving women in construction. We are mainly a male-dominated industry, so getting women involved, helping them find their voice, place within the community, and then also leveraging our networks and collaborating with others in the construction community to help service providers for those that are experiencing homelessness. The impact that we're having as a team has really been most impactful for me. I feel like it is a front row seat to the goodness in people. I love collaborating with others in the construction industry. You have a situation where most people would be competitors, but yet they're coming together for a greater cause. It's really put an amazing outlook on life and of such a positive outlook on life. And I feel like us as a construction industry, we're a little unique in the way that we'll collaborate and come together. And I love being able to be a part of that and seeing that that amazing side of people.
Please give a warm welcome to the board president for Utah Homemade, community service chair for the Salt Lake Home Builders Association, and executive vice president of Carpet Diem, Holly Waddington.
In the United States, when it comes to both practicing attorneys, especially partners at large law firms, and then also deans of law schools across the country, the majority of those individuals tend to be white heterosexual men. And so I have heard from many individuals over the years that seeing a woman who is both Native and identifies as female in leadership roles is really inspiring for those individuals. It's truly remarkable to me because I'm just doing my daily life, but to hear from others about how impactful that is for them, it really touches me on a regular basis. I'm excited for the future of the University of Utah. We are a scrappy university working hard to become a top 10 public university with societal impact. But moreover, I'm really excited to be in the state of Utah because I think this is a special place where folks with different opinions can come together and truly have some conversations where we listen to each other and we learn from one another. And in this day and age, you don't see that very often. So I'm very excited for the future of Utah, and I'm excited to be part of both the University of Utah and the state of Utah moving forward.
And now please welcome our last honoree of the morning. Congratulations to the chair of the Association of American Law Schools Membership Review Committee and board member of the Law School Admission Council, Dean of the S.J. Quinney College of Law at the University of Utah, Elizabeth Cronk-Warner. Okay, I want to see a raise of hands. Who knew that all these women were in Utah? All of them. No one, right? We're so glad that we get to be the ones to bring these stories to the state of Utah and celebrate these women and all of the incredible work that they're doing for our state. And thank you for being here to celebrate with us. Thank you. Before you leave, we have a couple of housekeeping items. As a reminder, your parking is paid for. If you didn't receive a voucher when you checked in, please make sure you get one from a Utah Business staff member at the registration table. We do like to do our part in recycling, so if you would, please leave your name badge on your table or at the registration table. That's it for our program, so thank you for joining us today, and congratulations again to the 2024 Most Influential Women.